Hello, everyone, and welcome to this sneak peek webinar about the Harm, Healing, and Human Dignity Conference that's happening October 27th, 29th, and 31st. We're so glad you are here today. Our hope was to give you a taste of the conference and all that's happening in those 3 packed days at the end of this month. So thank you for being here. You might be here today because you're curious about the conference and you want to learn more about restorative justice. Or maybe you're here because you're discerning if a 3-day virtual conference is right for you and your ministry team. Or maybe you've already registered for the conference and you're eager to get these conversations started. However you arrive, we're glad that you're here. It's going to be 30 minutes of packed conversation about what we're most excited about for the Harm, Healing, and Human Dignity Conference. So I'd love to introduce the conference planners who are going to be presenting to you today. Slide, please. So first, we have Sean Horrigan, who is the Director of University Centers and Staff Development at the University of San Diego. He serves on the leadership team for the Restorative Justice Network of Catholic Campuses, and he's a restorative justice facilitator and trainer at the Center for Restorative Justice at USD. We have Fred Lapuza, who's the Director for the Office of Restorative Justice in the Catholic Diocese of Orange, California. Fred has been ministering to incarcerated populations in Orange County jails and juvenile detention facilities for the past 32 years. We have Sister Ilaria Buonreposi, who's an Italian Camboni missionary sister. She has a Master in Restorative Justice from Eastern Mennonite University. Sister Ilaria also ministered for 17 years in Peru and Colombia during some of the most turbulent times in those countries' histories. And we have Caitlin Morneau, who is the Director for Restorative Justice at Catholic Mobilizing Network. She's the lead adapter of CMN's Faith Formation Guide, Harm, Healing, and Human Dignity, a Catholic Encounter with Restorative Justice. Caitlin has a Master in Conflict Transformation from Eastern Mennonite University. We're so excited that you're here, and we're delighted to share with you what is in store for the Harm, Healing, and Human Dignity Conference. Just a couple things before we begin. Please feel free to use the chat if you have questions. We have Leslie Willis and Caitlin Tully, who are on the CMN team, and they're in the background answering your questions and helping with tech. Although we're not going to have a live question and answer back and forth, if you have questions along the way, they can help you, and we're here to do that for you. So let us begin. We're just going to go through a couple questions, and we're going to get a sense of what all is in store. So from your seat in Catholic ministry, why is hosting the Harm, Healing, and Human Dignity Conference important to you? Sean, let's start with you.
All right, thank you, Christiane. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the webinar. Really excited to see you participate in the conference and hopefully meet you virtually throughout. You know, I've been so excited for this conference for some time. Obviously, pre-COVID, we had hoped to meet in person, and this opportunity to engage virtually is just a blessing. I think it's timely, too, as we think about the movement around restorative justice. It's broad, and so many people are joining this movement from various contexts, from education and criminal justice, community-based and diocesan organizations. And I just have come to believe that Catholic organizations and members of the Catholic Church have such a unique offering to this movement. We can speak profoundly with our values and our principles, and we can bring them to bear on the movement. And I think the movement has something to benefit from in our Catholic social teachings. So I'm particularly excited to come together and have conversation about that, to dialogue around how do we leverage our values, our principles, our teachings in this movement? How do we share it beyond the Catholic community? And then how do we join together and collaborate from our respective parts of the movement in order to advance it? Again, really excited to be joining this effort and to see you during this conference. Fred, how about you? What are you excited about with the Harm Healing and Human Dignity Conference?
I definitely echo what you just said. It's very exciting. Happy to be with you all today and look forward to seeing you in the workshops coming up. Yeah, for me, this is one of the things in some of the conversations I've had with people about restorative justice. In some ways, it's one of the best kept secrets. So it's kind of out there, but it's oftentimes people don't know about it, or sometimes it's something you might even be practicing and not even know that you're practicing it, or you've somehow experienced it in some way. So I think this conference is going to be a really great way where we can articulate it better, we can identify it, make it a little more concrete, especially in practice. So really, hopefully that people get something out of this conference that's meaningful to them, as it is to me right now. I work with, they mentioned I work with incarcerated populations. I see a lot of hurt and pain and a lot of hopelessness. And I think that this population is a symptom of some stuff going on in our society, or a lot of things going on in our society. So anything that we can do to really identify that and start working towards not only healing those that we come in contact with or hurt, but just as a society and as a nation. So it's exciting to be with everybody from all these different places. And I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you.
Thanks, Fred. How about you, Sister Ilaria? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. I'm very happy to be here today, and I've been participating in all this meeting in preparation of this conference, and finally he's here. He's a couple of weeks away, and I'm excited about it because I do really believe that the values that are embedded in restorative justice, like respect, responsibility, restoration, healing, accountability, these values are scattered inside our Catholic social teaching, and they are part of it. And when these values are seen together, they complement each other, and they are powerful instruments to foster healthy communities and dignifying relationships. And I do believe that restorative justice and Catholic social teaching together can help communities to heal. So my hope is to introduce the perspective offered by restorative justice as an overarching background to our ministries.
Beautiful. And Caitlin, who I have the joy of working very closely with at Catholic Mobilizing.
Thanks, Chris-Ann. Thanks so much to all of our co-planners and everyone on the line with us. And also want to give a shout out to one of our co-planners who wasn't able to be on the line this afternoon, Bobby Eno from the Diocese of San Diego, one of our co-collaborators on this conference, along with the Restorative Justice Center at University of San Diego. And knowing that he's here with us in spirit as well. And words can't quite describe how elated I am for this gathering that's been, you know, as Sean mentioned, a dream and in the works for, it's like over a year now. And it may look different than we initially imagined last summer, but just so amazed at how many individuals, groups, leaders from the grassroots to the grass tops are coming together around this necessary work and ministry of healing in our nation and responding to harm and injustice in ways that are centering human dignity and relationships. And so the work that we've been doing at Catholic Mobilizing Network to engage and learn together as a community through formation and network building and story sharing really all culminate in this collective experience. And so, as I mentioned, you know, at Catholic Mobilizing Network, we've been watching this awareness and engagement grow with restorative justice in really exciting ways across the country. And there's so much wisdom and experience to be shared in ways that, as Sean and Fred mentioned too, that cross-pollinate between ministry areas and across geographies. And to do this in a virtual space really allows us to do that in really creative ways and exciting ways, even though we can't be physically together. And you know, it was such a gift last weekend, I guess, when Fratelli Tutti, the Pope Francis's newest encyclical, was released, and to read and just soak up these prophetic and timely messages of solidarity and justice, truth-telling, memory, and reconciliation that we know are so central to, as Ilaria mentioned, who we are as Catholics and our identity, who we're called to be, not only as people of faith, but as a human family. And so to have the gift of his message and encouragement behind and with us is just truly a blessing. The last thing I'll say is that I think this conference reminds us that we are not alone in this ministry and work, that as Catholics, as parts of this growing national restorative justice movement, and as a human family, we can foster a relationship-centered culture and healing responses to harm and injustice.
Thank you, Caitlin.